Dinarland talk from ADMINBILL, WSOMN, Frank 26 and IQDcalls.com chat. From ADMINBILL. From time to time I get information that differs greatly from what I believe is happening with the basket of currencies, the GCR, and the unbasket, the ZIM. Today I communicated with such a person that has, over the course of a year, has become involved more with historical bonds and ZIM than with dinar, dong, or the other major currencies. I have had discussions in the past that are similar. In a nutshell, there are those that believe that a single Asian source will fund the RV and that, with the inclusion of the ZIM, those funds will be used to fund the ZIM exchange for both international and sovereign rates, leaving nothing for the RV/GCR of the other currencies. One source was never enough to fund this great adventure, and arrangements were put into place years if not decades ago to take care of the entire process. Many ask why this has taken so long to complete. The answer is because it is so massively complicated, with security a necessity and trustworthy governments in place, that timing was and is all important. As I said, it is my opinion that we are near, but I feel it is your right to see other views other than my own. G.e.g. dinar, I have a difficult time buying the idea that a defunct and overprinted currency is going to be used as the exclusive vehicle for the RV. ADMINBILL, you misread. I said nothing about the ZIM supporting the RV/GCR. The ZIM was designated for humanitarian projects, not the RV/GCR. From Frank 26. I want to tell you something, family, the things about Mosul, the things about the budget, the things about al-Baghdadi, the things about IBAN, the things about the multiple currency policy, the things about the auctions, all these things. I want you to know this is not a process anymore. I've always told you it was a progression. It is a process that is leading us in the direction of the monetary reform, but I am here to tell you all of these things I just mentioned, it is no longer a process of events. It is an ending of events. I feel they have dropped the 000s from their exchange rate, but I feel they are hiding that process, or I feel they are within days of doing it, and they will hide that process. I believe their goal is to lift the 000s in the mukla of this year and hide the process. I think we will see this sometime after the 20th. Legally, the country through the IMF cannot change its rate in the middle of a year, in the middle of a fiscal year, only at the beginning of a year. That is why the mukla is so important. They sent the loyal letter of intent to the IMF and said, hey GOI/CBI, we are both ready to give the new rate at the beginning of 2017. That is why there are no numbers at the CBI website, because the numbers in the month of January, the mukla of 2017, those numbers have changed, and we haven't seen any new numbers since the 4th, and only the IMF can send the new numbers through the CBI, so the CBI can post it officially on their website. At WSOMN. From Truth Seeker, my bottom line is that the goal of buying devalued currency is for the value of it to be raised as the first step, notification that it can be exchanged for USD as the second step, the actual exchange being the third step, followed by celebration and jubilation and gratitude and reaching out to others in need. At some point in time, the value of the Iraqi dinar, for example, will have to be raised, at which time I will exchange it for USD. It is really just that simple, but has morphed into a complicated monster. At present, the value of the Iraqi dinar is not commensurate with the value of Iraqi assets, which of course include huge reservoirs of underground oil, huge amounts of gold purchased by the Central Bank of Iraq, and yet more gold found near the surface in an area not far from Baghdad yet to be mined, and other assets. Syria's currency has a higher value than does Iraq's. Ditto for Jordan and Kuwait, which countries don't have the assets in the quantities Iraq has. I don't see the Iraqis being willing to use the USD forever, the currency of the invader, the occupying force, the great Satan to some. Their use of the USD was imposed on them and not chosen. If this was the scene in the USA, it would stick in every American's craw as it must in the Iraqi craw. I believe the same applies to the Vietnamese people. It doesn't make for national pride. I repeat, I think this whole scenario has become much more complicated than necessary, which is again at its simplest, most basic, a currency exchange, period. Other currencies exchange worldwide, read Forex, daily without hoopla and endless debate. In these cases, dinar and dong, there is the intermediary step of a rise in value of the currency that we are waiting for, which appears to be coming into view slowly maybe, but inevitably. The USFRB system has more than enough USD to exchange for our foreign currencies, and they can always call in USD held abroad. It is the globe's most prolific currency. Plus if they run out, they can always print more. The FRB may want to exchange at least some of the dinar, for example, for USD held by the Central Bank of Iraq. That's how regular currency exchanges are conducted. Just my honest but logical and reasonable point of view. At IQDcalls.com chat. From a new news hound, Kashtan. Rashid, direct selling the dollar early this week economy since January 14, 2017 at 9:26, Baghdad time. Baghdad balances news Rashid Bank, announced Saturday, from Batch Earth sell the dollar early this week. The bank said in a statement received /balances news /copy of it, the beginning of this week will begin selling the dollar for travelers across 5 branches. He added, the branches include Kark, the airport, the Yarmouk, Willing Khatun, trade dependents, pointing out that, the sale will be at the official rate. Rashid Bank starts selling the dollar for travelers 1 to 14. Rashid Bank starts selling the dollar for travelers January 15, 2017, midnight Baghdad /morning proceed. Rashid sell the dollar bank of the beginning of this week, noting that the sale will be at the official rate. The bank said in a statement morning received a copy of it, he will begin early this week, selling the dollar for travelers across 5 branches. He added that branches include Kark, the airport, the Yarmouk, Willing Khatun, trade dependents, indicating that the sale will be at the official rate. The Iraqi Central Bank decided on June 16 that the share of citizens who wish to obtain the dollar to cover their expenses abroad of banks and banking, financial, and conversion of all is $3,000, instead of $5,000. The Iraqi Central Bank has announced that its sales for banks over the past year 2016 amounted to more than $33 billion. The bank said in a statement that the sales of the dollar banks reached since the beginning of the year 2016 and up to 31 of December $33,523,710,000 and $489. The bank said that this amount decreased from what it was on the same date of last year's sales in 2015, which amounted to a $44,147,223,000 and $185. He said the bank sale amounts transferred to accounts in banks abroad rose 3,000 dinars to equal that cash sales price of $1,190 dinars per dollar, including the commission of the central bank. U.S. Embassy describes granted visas to Iraqis mechanism. The number of visits, 21,533 published on 14/1/2017 510 published by Messenger of Delphi. It issued U.S. Embassy in Baghdad, illustration mechanism to grant entry visa to the Iraqis who want a visa to travel to the United States. According to an embassy statement, there is a lot of common mistakes among some about the conditions for granting visitor visa from the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad, and the most prominent of 3 mistakes are, to say the need to go for a company logo or a contractor travel to facilitate the issuance of a visa or mediate for release, and the error is common. Second is that an appointment visa takes a very long time. The other common mistake is that the applicant must bring the largest number of archives and documents. She said the U.S. Embassy say per wishing apply a visitor visa that required form found on the website. You only need to fill and determine the appropriate date for the traveler in order to conduct the interview. The application form on the visa only require personal information such as places visited by the traveler in advance, as well as travel to the rest of the family members wishing to travel to the United States of U.S. history. An error occurred when filling the form. It assumes obstacles errors that occur in electronic form, so it should wishing to travel to America filled himself, and the preparation of the image and all the required documents, it will find itself does not need any outside help. The statement stressed he was not on the passenger waiting time at the moment to book an appointment. All he has to do is go to the custom to book an appointment site. It is forbidden an appointment to meet him personally, then we'll know what exact day to come to the interview. He pointed out that the visa is linked to development of the traveler. It is not as common in how much the number of documents that can be brought to the interview, and that is wasting his money. Translated documents is already required. Valizvar want the traveler to know and why it will go to the United States and why will return to Iraq after he went to the United States. We ask to know, if it's put to all to get a visa then does not matter. The number of documents that bring to the interview. From Ash Williams at iqdcalls.com chat, with all due respect to those that post on this site and others. There just doesn't seem to be any common sense out there when people speak about Zim. I have repeatedly read posts of those claiming rates of USD $1 up to $125,000 per 1 Zim dollar if you have humanitarian projects with no zeros opt off. Am I the only one that thinks this is crazy and makes no sense? Think about it like this. If you were to exchange a single 100 trillion Zim note/bond at a rate of $125,000, you have enough money to make every man, woman and child on earth billionaire almost twice over. That means if everyone is a billionaire then no one is a billionaire. Even at a rate of USD $1 on a single 100 trillion note/bond, you would have about USD $13,000 for every man, woman and child on earth, and that's just one note/bond. I have a stack of these 100 trillion notes/bonds. The USA Department is only 2 trillion in comparison. In my mind I feel these notes/bonds I hold will probably never be worth more than just novelty pieces. However, hoping I'm wrong, I would personally be very happy if they lopped the 6 zeros, gave us a more sensible rate of something from 1 cent USD to 1/10 of a cent USD per Zim. That would still make a lot of very rich people but wouldn't flood the world with so much money that it wouldn't do us any good. From Spanky at iqdcalls.com chat, Governor of the Central Banks, Tomorrow Press, Iraqi dinar is not in danger and delete the zeros postponed, hurry up and wait, people almost identical to the beginning of 2016. That's it for now, thanks from IQD.